morning. Thanks for joining us on the press today. Today is a special day as we celebrate Nigerians' children, not just in Nigeria. I know that in some parts of the world, the children are being celebrated also. But today is special indeed because the Nigerian child is the future of the nation yesterday, today, and tomorrow. There is no way we can't celebrate the Nigerian child. But again, amidst the celebration, we shall be taking a look at issues that affect the Nigerian child. As it were, there are lots of issues from education to protection issues, exploitation, name it. The Nigerian child is faced with challenges that are sometimes bigger than can be imagined. On the show today, we shall be having our adults on the show and, of course, children who will come in to let us understand. We'll celebrate, but yes, amidst the celebration, we will talk on issues that affect us as a nation. And of course, we have the demographic, which we're taking a look at today, which is the Nigerian child. Now, the very first time that children were celebrated, or the history or genesis of where we're at today, started somewhere in the United States. So somewhere in 1857, where a clergyman in his private church started celebrating children. Yes, indeed. In his local community, he will celebrate children, and before you know it, it became a celebration for children. And of course, in 1954, the United Nations adopted the International Child Day, which is a celebration of children. Every nation have their own day to celebrate their child. In Nigeria, it is today, May 27th. Well, I want you to sit back and be prepared for today's show. Be assured that it is going to be worth your while. The phone lines will be opened so you can be part of the discussion. Gather your children. Actually, today, the voices we want to hear are the voices of the children, not the adults. All right, but again, I'm not saying you can't call in as an adult and be part of it. You are the ones who care for the children, especially the mothers. I would want to hear more mothers talk today on the show once the phone lines are opened. Remember, I have 4 guests on the show, the adults and of course the children. Everyone will have their time. But let us start the show like we normally do, not to worry. Nothing is left out. We'll start with the weather report and we'll take a look at the newspapers. Then after then, the show will begin proper. We don't have enough time, but we're going to manage what we have. All right, let us begin from the south this morning. Let us take a look at Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt this morning started at 26 degrees. By 8 a.m. it was 26, and by 9 a.m. it rose to 28. 10 a.m. we'll see it rise to 29 degrees. 11 a.m. is expected to rise to 30, and 12 p.m. 31 degrees. Port Harcourt is going to be mostly cloudy today with highs at 32 degrees and lows at 25. Thunderstorms are expected around 4 p.m. Wind gutter up to 8 kilometers per hour. All right, that is Port Harcourt today. Let us take a look at Imo. Imo this morning started at 25 degrees. 25 degrees, 8 a.m. By 9 a.m., 27 degrees. 10 a.m. we'll see it rise to 28. 11 a.m. we'll see it rise as much as 29, and it is expected to be 30 degrees by 12 p.m. Imo is going to be mostly cloudy with highs at 32 and lows at 24 degrees. However, thunderstorms are expected around 6 p.m. Wind gutter up to 11 kilometers per hour. Away from Imo, let us take a look at Enugu. Enugu this morning started at 25 degrees. 9 a.m. saw it at 26. 10 a.m. is expected to rise as high as 28. 11 a.m. will see it rise to 29, and 12 p.m. will see the weather rise as much as 30 degrees. Enugu is going to be mostly cloudy today. Highs at 31 degrees and lows at 23 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 1 p.m. Wind gutter up to 18 kilometers per hour. Away from Enugu, let us jet over to Lagos. Lagos this morning, woo, it's sunny, sunny, sunny. You can actually see the sun right there Lagos started at 27 degrees. That is high. That is high. 8 a.m. it rose to 28. 9 a.m. 29 degrees. It is expected to remain balanced at 10 a.m. at 29 degrees, but however, we are expecting it to rise to 30 for 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Cloudy conditions are expected around 12 p.m. Wind gutter up to 17 kilometers per hour. We have highs at 31 degrees and lows at 27 degrees. Away from Lagos, let us take a look at Kano. Kano this morning, you can see the sun. Mostly sunny days, mostly sunny for Kano today. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around 9 a.m. Just around now, wind gutter up to 36 kilometers per hour. 9 a.m. it was 29. It is expected to rise as high as 30 by 10 a.m. 32 at 11 a.m. and at 12 p.m. we are expecting it to rise as high as 34 degrees. That's Kano for you. Now let's take a look at Kaduna. Not as much as Kano today, despite the proximity. Kaduna started at 24 degrees. 8 a.m. it was 24. By 9 a.m. it was 26. By 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 27. 11 a.m. we'll see it rise to 28 degrees, and 12 p.m. you can see the sun peeking out of the clouds right there on the pictorial on your screen. It is expected to be as high as 30 degrees. It's going to be mostly cloudy today with highs at 32 degrees and lows at 23. All right, Abuja is next as we round up on our weather this morning. Abuja started at 24. 8 a.m. it was 24, but at 9 a.m. it rose to 25. 10 a.m. we'll see it rise to 26. 11 a.m. 27 and 12 p.m. 29 degrees. Abuja is going to be mostly cloudy today with highs at 31 and lows at 23 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around 2 p.m. Wind gutter up to 18 kilometers per hour. All right, that's our weather reports this morning on the press. So let us go straight on now to the front pages of our papers. And I'll start with the Punch. We don't have much because I know we have limited time, hoping that all the guests that we expect can come. I'm optimistic. I have just one guest on ground. I'm expecting more, so we're trying to manage our time. So we're starting with the Punch. The Punch newspaper this morning has the screaming headlines: tension in PDP. Governors BOT reconvene as NEC meeting stalls. Damagum uncertain about NEC meeting at Tiku. Others show National Caucus meeting. You have more of that story on page 2. Now, we're yet to see the end of the tension in the PDP. Politics in that area has been really tense indeed, and it is one today and another tomorrow. And you know, those of us who are on the other side just keeping our fingers and toes crossed with our hands on our chin, just watching the whole show. We do hope that they get their acts together so we see the end of this back and forth. All right, still on the front page of the Punch this morning, there's a pictorial: ground rent. FCTA shuts PDP, FIRS NAPTIP headquarters. That story broke 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. And that is the situation. And somewhere in the mix, the PDP is still, caught up in the whole brouhaha. All right, let's move on. Just beside the mast, insurgency. Tinubu, Zulum in talks over forest guards deployment. There's a rider to that story. Suspected headers kill cop. 41 Benue villagers. That story continues on page 2 and 29. Praying and hoping on a day we'll wake up and we do not have such reports reaching us as Nigerians. We pray for peace, especially for Benue. All right, more on the Punch this morning. Some business story. $750 million US loan. World Bank pressures Nigeria for fresh tax hike. Okay, we have enough that we're grappling with, and World Bank sometimes one wonders where the problems really lies, because just when we think we're getting it right, The World Bank usually has a different statistics, different from what we have right here in Nigeria, different from the statistics that we are given most of the time. And just when the statistics appear to be really jolly, the World Bank comes in and say, hey, it is not uhuru yet because you have things to do. And this morning we can see that the World Bank is calling for more or first tax hike. And at the end of the day, Nigerians will be at the receiving end. You and I, very, very, very painful. All right, away from that story, Oyo pays Oshun 5 billion naira in low tech ownership deal. That's on education. Tinubu to inaugurate Lagos Calabar Highway Section 1 Saturday. Good news indeed. More of that read on page 29. All right, because of time, let us move on to the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper this morning, saying of Secretariat, PDP fumes as Tinubu intervenes. Their writers, it's a brazen abuse of power, says the PDP. They go ahead with BOT NEC meeting. PDP, 4,793 others given 14 days grace. It's not political witch hunt, says Wike's aide. PDP group to Wike, you are the real betrayer, as Makinde Mba keep mum on FCT minister. All right, FCTA, FIRS disagree over ground rent. More of that story on page 9 of the Vanguard. DPO feared dead as youth set Kano police station ablaze. Stories we do not want to hear. Unfortunately, this is what we are given. 42 killed in fresh Headers attack on Benue communities. Congestion hits Lagos port amid truck restrictions. That's on business. Edo Delta. Kidnappers turn residents into cash cows. Kidnappers hit Kubwa estate, hold residents hostage, about 2 feared dead. Okay, let us move on from the Vanguard this morning. Let us take a look at the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper this morning has the headlines, Opposition's internal crisis, legal battles threatening 2027 election. Over 12 billion people affected by infertility globally, away from that, the crisis in the PDP, and of course the internal crisis and legal battles which threatens the 2027 election. Above that story, Children's Day, tackle bullying, prioritize rights, welfare, stakeholders urge government. 2025 Hajj, Saudi Arabia denies Gumi entry as Jigawa task programs on prayers. The man for CFO drops in Lagos as state upgrades markets. EFCC recovers part of 1.3 trillion naira from collapsed CBEX. That's very good news indeed for those who invested. I tell you, there'll be. This is good news, respite for those who invested, peace of mind for those who haven't slept since it happened. We do hope that we get more results on this. And of course, investors, I hope that investors will get, if not all of their investment, but at least some of it. All right, ground rent, Tinubu intervenes as FCTA grants 14 days grace to defaulters. Suspected lead explosion kills one, injures another in Abuja. Reps withdraw compulsory voting bill over public pushback. All right, away from the Guardian this morning, let us go to the Matrix. The Matrix says that 2027 opposition parties continue to falter. LP factions straight tackle over OB as presidential candidate. Coalition. Above the mast, MPA Dangote to deepen maritime industry growth, expand export operations. Away from that, reps bow to pressure, withdraw bill on compulsory voting. Of course, the Matrix also has the story on Sheikh Gumi being deported from Saudi Arabia despite holding valid Hajj visa. And finally, on the front page of the Matrix, Tinubu departs for Lagos to mark ECOWAS 50th anniversary commission projects. All right, let us take a look at the blueprint this morning. The blueprint. Paid ground rent. Tinubu wades in as FCTA sales PDP Secretariat, Axis Bank, FIRS, others. Defaulters get 14 days relief. We're not owing, FIRS explains. All right, Abbas bows to pressure, withdraws compulsory voting bill. There's still the story on Sheikh Gumi on the front page of the blueprint. Unity Cup, Super Eagles, London camp bubbles ahead, Ghana clash. That's on sports. All right, I think we have one more. Well, we have like two more papers. Let's take a look at the Daily Trust. Hours to neck meeting, FCTA sales PDP headquarters. One dies in explosion near Abuja barracks. Kano Mosque arsonist to die by hanging. Another Abuja estate attacked, businessman abducted. DPO killed, police station burnt after man dies in custody. Why Saudi Arabia stopped me from performing Hajj. Gumi. 42 killed in Fresh Benue attacks. Speaker Abbas withdraws a second bail in 9 months. There's the last paper. I hope that the last paper, National Star, New National Star, says 24 hours after pulling out of peace talks, weakest sales PDP headquarters over 7.6 million naira debt. Federal government lacks will to name oil thieves, Bayelsa Manak. South Africa, Senegal, Zambia, others are additionals AFDB seat. Federal government inaugurates committee to manage Emefiele linked estate. PDP caucus dares Wike and Yang meet ahead of next meeting. Help with faction clashes over Obi's coalition moves. All right, that's all we can take on our papers this morning. Yes, indeed. If you just joined us, it is the press, and today is dedicated to the children of Nigeria as we celebrate them. Today is the Children's Day celebration, May 27th. I remember growing up as a child in Nigeria. I look forward to a day like this where we will cook. In my house, it's like the Children's Day was celebrated like Christmas. There'll be chin-chin, there'll be rice, there'll be chicken. We'll wake up early in the morning. And of course, the match pass. I was, part of the matching group in my school. The new uniforms will be sewn. And unfortunately, those appear to be like the heydays, something that is in the past, yet will stay in the same nation. We shall be celebrating the Nigerian child today. But again, we cannot take out the challenges the Nigerian child faces in the nation amidst the celebration. Please, we shall be taking a look at these issues. We have 2 adults and 2 children who are coming on the show today to let us understand from their viewpoint the Nigerian child and their voices. We'll take a break. When we return, the conversation. Stay with us.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Cartoon Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Captain TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At Cartoon Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Captain TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Cartoon Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Captain TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
And around the world to create signal.
At Cartoon Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Captain TV, imagine a beautiful world.
All I know is in this house, I'm sure the sense in the kitchen.
Sensei, what's that again?
That's Japanese for master, babe.
Master. In whose kitchen? My kitchen. My kitchen.
Babe. Oh, I know this tastes so good. That smell.
You're right.
Junior, back me up here, son. Kids.
So you think you're master, Abby? Prove it.
With pleasure.
Sensei.
Told you.
Master's instant noodles. Always a delight.
Yes, welcome back. If you just joined us, it is The Press, and today is a special day as we celebrate the Nigerian child, the future of tomorrow. I have my guest in the house. One of the two guests that I have, we're still expecting the other, but the show must go on. And let me do the introduction. Again, today we're taking a look at Children's Day, analysis of issues affecting the Nigerian child amidst the celebration. That's what we're taking a look at today. So my guest in the house is Garba Abdullahi. He is a social justice and youth activist with over 10 years of experience supporting local and international programs that promote youth development and empowerment and education in Nigeria through project operations support. Garba, it's so nice to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yes. It's been a while trying to get you here, and I'm so happy that we eventually got you on a day like this where we celebrate the Nigerian child. Before the break, I did tell the viewer that the Children's Day in Nigeria at my time was like Christmas, where we wake up as early as we do on Christmas Day and kill chicken and turkey and cook, go to the stadium, there'll be match past. You can smell the food in the air, the activity families are up and doing, but in recent time that has dwindled. That is my own experience. I don't know what your experience has been growing up in Nigeria, celebrating the Nigerian child on a day like this, but I would want you to let us understand, your take on Children's Day celebration in Nigeria.
Thank you so much for having me here once again. My name is Garba Abdullahi from the FCT here, just as my colleague mentioned. And my take in the Nigerian Children's Day, I want to reflect back during my own time, not yours. And when we used to be in primary school, the pupils will gather. Then if we just hear, as of yesterday was Monday, today is Tuesday, right? So if we hear that tomorrow is Children's Day, everybody will be happy because you can't wait to see the day. We'll be joyful. We'll go to the field. Will be a match pass. They choose the first position and give them the gift. Everybody will just celebrating and celebrate. But you see, my text on these days is actually different. It's different because the systems have changed. The world is changing, and also it has affected that aspect too.
Yes, indeed.
So in terms of, like, when I was coming, I used my phone. I was just seeing updates of people posting small children on their statues. Happy Children's Day, Happy Children's Day. I was in kind of So now we are now celebrating Children's Day on the social media, on the WhatsApp, on your house. You're not going outside again to do match past. You're not going outside again to see your leader. It's either your local government chairman or your minister or maybe the president will say, let me go and celebrate the Children's Day with people. But we are not seeing that nowadays. In fact, if you go to most social media or maybe TV station, they used to stream live when people are in the field doing match past celebrating, but sadly we are not seeing anything now. So you see the narration from before and now is changed. And again, I want to let us know that we have a social effect that affect that. Maybe in terms of holding the culture, let me call it culture, to sustain these celebrations is not there. The times of maybe technology have also affected this. Maybe teachers don't even have time again. In fact, especially when we have AI now. So when even teacher wants to go to class, you just go to AI and just take everything, boom, send it to the student. The pupils, they will just download it. But before, you see teacher writing with chalk and the board, and student pupils will be the class. So everything will be face to face. But now it's not there. So a lot of things happens around this area. When you talk of Children's Day celebration again before, I remember when I was part of the match past too, but our group took second. It was not first. So when we come to the school, they now select us in the assembly ground. to say they want to give off the gift. These are people that make the school proud. Because now they were showing it to the world that in social location, these are people who come out to say, I want to celebrate Children's Day by marching. And for that, they were able to give them some gifts and also award. This is just to tell these children that a day like this is worth of celebrations. But now we are not seeing anything like that. So we have long way to go in terms of, if we're going to come back to this kind of thing, a lot of back and forth will come in. Some parents or some analysts will say that it is due to the modern day. It is also due to in terms of technology, that people don't have time to go outside to stay. A lot of things you have to do it indoor. In fact, we know that people are doing businesses or maybe job now at home. So this will start from this stage down to the pupils or the children's to see how this can also be remedied.
Indeed. If you just joined us, it is the press, and today we're celebrating the Nigerian child as they celebrate their day. But we want to take a look at some of the challenges the Nigerian child faces in the nation. And we have our guest who has already started to let us understand, you know, the situation, some of it, as it were, before we delve deep into it. We have a package to help us also push this discourse forward. We'll take that package, hoping that my other guest is here, and when we return, the conversation will continue. But not to forget that in the midst of our discussion, the phone lines will open, and of course we're expecting two girls to future of Nigeria to be here. So stay with us and enjoy today's show. We'll be right back.
Children's Day serves to highlight the value of children, emphasizing their rights and the importance of safeguarding their future. Speaking with children in an interview in Abuja, we discovered that more than 60% of public schools suffered from lack of good learning infrastructural facilities.
The Nigerian government have shown commitment in improving the lives of its children through various initiatives. Some of the initiatives are: 1. Child-centered compact. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu launched the development of a child-centered compact at the 29th Nigerian Economic Summit, focusing on transforming Nigeria with accelerated reforms.
Some parents are not able to pay their children's school fees, while some are not able to afford 3 square meals for their children a day. Some children goes to the streets to hawk for food for their own well-being, while some goes to the streets to go and beg for money to be able to feed for themselves as almajiris. When we were in Goodluck Jonathan period, we have the SFP, the school feeding program. We ensure that children have their good feeding, but now the activities are not being done. The government should be able to provide for the children for their own well-feeding, so they will be able to take care of themselves and their parents.
Children's Day promotes children's welfare. It raises awareness about children's rights, children's health, children's education, and children's well-being.
The day is typically filled with joyful events including parades, community gatherings, and speech. Schools may also give children the day off to allow participation in these activities. Despite the positive tone of the celebration, it also draws attention to serious issues many Nigerian children face, such as poverty, child labor, and limited access to quality education.
Today, if you go to different schools, parents, the numbers of students that are paid at school charges are very low. So I'll say that the government should do a better job in order to make the price of things more cheaper, and in order to make school to make school fees easy for children to pay.
The teachers also called on the government to support children's growth for national development. This will draw the children closer to enjoying the perks of democracy in Nigeria.
We need the government to impart more knowledge on these children, because this is our future generation, this is our future governors, this is our future president. So we need to give them the requirement, the necessary requirement for them.
So we are all calling on Nigerian government to please come to the schools aid. Some of these schools, the government schools, the public schools are lacking so many things such as seats. And most of these students are coming from afar. They even need transportation. So if government, we know that government is doing best, they are trying their best, but we want them to do more.
A far cry from just imagination to reality. Bridget Mama reporting for Kaftan TV.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Kaftan Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Kaftan TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At Kaftan Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
There we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Kaftan TV, imagine a beautiful world.
Anyways, in this house, I'm sure the sense in the kitchen.
Sensei, what's that again?
That's Japanese for master, babe.
Master. In whose kitchen? My kitchen. My kitchen.
Babe. Oh, I know this tastes so good. That smell.
Yeah, right.
Junior, back me up here, son. Kids.
So you think you're master, Abby? Prove it.
With pleasure.
Sensei.
Children.
Master's instant noodles. Always a delight.
Glad to have you back on the press this morning as we celebrate the Nigerian child today, May 27th. I'm also happy to let you know that my other guest is in the house, a sister, a friend. By the colors you see her wear, indeed you will know that those words are real. She is right here, Tayo Lani, a businesswoman, a woman and children's rights advocate, and social affairs analyst. Tayo, it's so nice to have you on this special edition of the press.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Indeed, we are sisters. You were in the spirit.
Exactly.
Yes,
as we celebrate the Nigerian child. Yes. Before you came, Garba and I started a discussion proper. Because of time, we're going to delve into the issues. I know you have a lot to say because while the promos were going, you did say a lot. You told me the emotions that you were going through, especially at this time. As we celebrate the Nigerian child, the issues and challenges that they face as a demographic in the nation. Education, Nigeria has the highest out-of-school children according to statistics given to us. I said late 2004, I beg your pardon, we had like 18.3 million out-of-school children. That is the statistics. We have issues like exploitation. We have issues like sexual violence that the Nigerian child still faces, psychological distress, recruitment by non-state armed groups are some of the issues facing the Nigerian child. But again, I would want your say as we celebrate the Nigerian child this morning, today.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to celebrate all Nigerian children today. Happy Children's Day. It's nice to be here to talk about what's happening national about the children. Actually, there's a lot happening. We have issues of insecurity, schools not being safe for children, and a lot of families, especially in the rural areas in the northern part, withdrew their children from schools, especially really after those abduction that we had a few years back when this lady Leah was being adopted. I was just saying that I saw a video about her birthday was, I think, this May. So about, let's say, 2 weeks back or a week back, I saw the video online and the mother was celebrating her birthday. So today that is Children's Day. She came to my mind while in the shower, and I say, God, if she was at home, she is celebrating all together with her siblings, because after she left, I learned that the mother had more children. So she doesn't even know her siblings is so sad because of the state of insecurity. Until date, she's still abducted. Today, she's still there. The mother cut a cake on behalf of her abducted daughter, celebrating how many years she has been abducted and how many years she was born, and praying that one day Leah will be released and Leah will walk back home. It's so sad. I cried. I was so emotional about it. It's something that I think that the security of the nation should be improved seriously, especially in our schools, in the rural areas. Now it's already coming into the city. A lot of abductions in the city, a lot of things happening, kidnaps happening, and many children are unsafe. So the issue of security is a national concern, I know the government are trying, I know people are trying, but I want them to try more harder so that these children and everyone can be safe in their own country.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, for that start on the show this morning. The emotions are there when as we celebrate the Nigerian child, but unfortunately there are lots of myriads of issues and challenges that they face as a demographic in the nation. And growing up as a child, we've often heard that we are the leaders of tomorrow. But there's been a push. The Nigerian child is saying, they're tired of hearing them being grouped as the leaders of tomorrow because the future does not portend the present. The present will determine how the future will be, and the colors that they see, the hues that they see, doesn't present anything clear or bright for the future. And you started with insecurity, you started with closure of school. I remember Garba, when he was watching the documentary, the reports that we dropped, and it was saying this cannot be a public school, it is definitely a private school, because schools in Abuja closed. Of course, Garba, you've heard what Taya said, and I want you to take off from that too.
You see, let me start by saying this. Schools from primary 1 to 6 public schools in FCT are on strike for the past 3 months. I don't know whether you are aware of it. Also, the challenges we talked about in terms of insecurity or affecting the schools in Nigeria entirely. Let me start. I cannot say that entirely it is the fault of the leaders, but the policies guiding this leadership or school systems. Okay, look at the Minister of Education. What is it doing to make sure that education is secured in Nigeria, especially for the poor masses and to the underserved communities? There are instances where you will see that they post a teacher to go and teach in a local community. The teacher will tell you that he's not going there because of the lack of insecurity. I have visited a community that schools were open, but the pupils did not go to school. When I asked them, they said the teacher only comes once in a month. So the teacher comes to the school once in a month. Why? Because the locations of the teacher is very far, and the rate of insecurity in that community is high. So the teacher cannot put his own life at risk in coming down to this place, and maybe at the end of the day he will end up losing his life. So these are challenges that the Minister of Education and also the security agencies should look at it very critically. Because if we did not look at this angle, we will not be able to protect the pupils or the students in the school or in the class. Okay, look at what happened again in FCT that time in the Federal Government College, Kwali, where I was told that either the bandit or Boko Haram or people went there and start shooting around the school. Students were just running around in the school compound because they were afraid. Someone that have not seen a gun for his or her lifetime, that day saw the gun, he may have ended up faint, or maybe other thing. They kidnapped some students in that school. And what is happening is because of the system failed this pupil or student. If the systems were able to manage this, if you go to the school now, you see that because of what happened, there are now DSS, there are now NSCDCs, there are now police people inside the school compound. We should not wait until this happened. Yeah, that's the way you said it. Was the Lydia was kidnapped, Leah was kidnapped. We should not wait until this happened before we'll be able to take measure in terms of making sure that this is accurately handled.
Now talking about the educational system in Nigeria, of course, the insecurity, which is a major problem in the nation that has directly or indirectly affected the educational standard and, of course, safety of Nigerians. Statistics given to us shows that Nigeria allocates only 7.3% of its natural budget or national budget, significantly below UNESCO's required range. And that is really small in terms of what we get in education in our budget. And do you think somehow, directly or indirectly, aside the insecurity that we face as a nation, this also could be traced to the problems that we have? Again, we also have, Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children. UNESCO's statistics have shown that Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children, as high as 18.3 million. That is huge indeed. So I really want Tayo to pick up, from where you stopped on that.
Yes, it's actually very huge, and the budget for education should be increased. It should even be the highest, because education is what makes you a leader. With education is what makes us equipped. Education is what makes us, education is what trains us to become the best of who we are supposed to be, and I feel there should be the best. The way even the allocation that is given to teachers as salaries are quite small. I've heard public teachers complain about their salaries, how low it is. Even some of the privates too also complain about their salaries. And there was a time they said they were going to, the government was going to support the private schools, some of the private schools, so that they can be able to pay their teachers properly. Teachers are, their salaries are they're not receiving the right amount of money, so that they can be encouraged to be able to teach the children the way they need to teach the children. So apart from the children, the teachers too are also being affected because of the take-home pay they receive. It's too small, you can't even take care of them. And there's one of them that says her take-home pay, her transportation takes the whole of her take-home pay. So she's not even excited, she's not even happy to go. So I don't blame that teacher that comes to school once in a month. You understand? Because when you look at apart from the security, you look at the take-home pay, is not enough to be able to cater for her family and then transport her to school. So another thing that needs to be looked upon is the budget. The budget for education should be increased. They should increase the budget for education. Thank God for all these our NGOs that keep going to schools to support teachers in one way or the other, support the children in one way or the other. We need to also, the government needs to also look into the sector of education and see what they can do. Many of our federal government universities went on strike. There was a time the strike was over 6 months. All was they were crying for increased basic salaries so that they can be able to tutor properly. I think apart from all the career, I think teachers are underrated. They are underrated.
I wanted to add to what she's saying.
Please do.
You see, I give reference to FCT because of I see it practically, and you can an earlier teacher in FCT now, that's the local education authority teacher in FCT now, cannot boast and say that this is what I have as maybe found that is supporting he or she to do something standard in Nigeria. Most of them receive salary below the national minimum wage. One of the reasons why they are on strike because of that is because of the budget allocations to them is too low. Is in fact is even below standard to even anything that you ask an earlier staff teacher that what do they earn, they will tell you that they earn 35, 45, 57.
Yeah, that's the range.
How can a teacher who stayed like 4-5 hours in the school teaching class be earning this kind of thing? Teachers are the builders of tomorrow's leaders, but we are treating the government is treating them as if they are the top people, or maybe they are people who even don't have value. Now another issue is that the allocation of budget. You see, the last year was worst, but this year is a little bit increased than that last year budget, the national budget of the education. But what are we looking at here? The real impact of this budget to the people that they are affecting. I used to say this before. We have beautiful policies, we have very beautiful policies, but the implementations is the problem.
Always a challenge.
Now, when you have a budget for education, people don't checkmate this. Maybe they say, okay, we budget something for infrastructure of educational, maybe schools, public schools in FCT, or maybe Wike was saying that the minister of FCT was saying that he renovated, or maybe he's doing a project on schools, on the 16 schools in FCT. When I visit most of these schools, I personally visit most of these schools to see that, because the funds, some of the schools you hear 23 million naira, 500 million naira for renovation of, even Gwaripa, there are schools that we can say that he's renovating. If you visit these places now, most of the work there is not done according to the standard. Some of them are done below the standard, and that is one of the reasons that will make this the infrastructure dilapidated. That I also visit a community again in Kwali that the entire school, the roof was down during the dry season.
There was one that happened in Jos. The school collapsed on the children.
The roof is down. Okay, what happened to the allocations given to UBEB and SUBEB to do all these things? They're not doing it. So you see, a lot children did not go to school in in that community, even those in outside the community that comes to the school, they refuse to come, because if they come, they will stay under the sun, and there is no any shade that they will stay. And this is one thing that is leading to out of school children. If you go to that community today, you'll be able to see that their parents are advising them to go to the farm, because the school does not even have really the school
no impact anymore
in there. So if you go to school now, the teachers are not coming. The headmaster will keep calling. They should come and build the school. They don't even answer them. The classes are empty. Nobody is there to teach them. So what would they go and do? Yes. So they will end up going to school. Some of them now will end up doing sexual abuse to their people. You go to a community, you see a child like maybe 12, 14 years now pregnant. Why? Because of lack of school, that they no go, lack of education causes all these things.
Indeed.
And this is building negative impact to the people in that community.
Yes, I want you to, I want our viewers to understand that our children are already around to join the conversation today, even as the adults are having their say on the challenges faced by the Nigerian child. I also want the phone lines to be displayed right now, so viewers can call in and be part of the conversation. Please let the phone lines be displayed. That's the phone line there. You can call in and be part of the conversation this morning. The Nigerian child faces a lot of issues, educational protection issues. About 1.9 million Nigerian child faces protection issues. The Nigerian child is exploited, sexual violence. 6 in 10 Nigerian child has experienced or will experience, 6 in 10 Nigerian child has experienced sexual and physical violence, on a daily and on a go. These are the issues. Recruitment by non-state armed groups. This is another problem when we talk about insecurity. We have our children in Sambisa Forest, those that are kidnapped. Not all of them are kidnapped for ransom. They are actually conscripted. They are recruited, to become some name that I don't even want to mention. These are children, and they begin to fight the state where they should be protected. All right, let us take a look at the exploitation of the Nigerian child. The Nigerian child is exploited. We have a situation where children are brought from the villages with a promise of taking them to school, giving them a better life. You go on the street to see the Nigerian child still hawking, despite the rights of the Nigerian child, which we do not really adhere to. So I would want to let us understand how exploited the Nigerian child is and what government should do beyond lip service to ensuring that this tide is brought really low.
Actually, the Nigerian child has been abused and exploited. Some were trafficked. I remember there was one video I saw online too. I think it was VDM, the guy they call VDM, that I think got some informations and was able to talk to one of those airplane owners to be able to help bring them in, and there were many of them that was brought in, and thank God for people like him who has an NGO who is helping out many people are being taken from their parents, promising them, don't worry, you go to school, don't worry, you just go help that family, and the next thing they are already taking them out of the country to for trafficking and all that. And there are some that even they are in Nigeria, the people the guardians that took them in are not being fair to them. They are being wicked. They beat them, they treat them, they don't give them food. There are many that we've seen online, especially on that human rights radio. They show a lot of them where there was one I think I saw that they poured hot water. That what did she do? She didn't do her work on time, and then she was not supposed to eat, and she said she was hungry. I think she went and took the food and she ate, and the next thing the owner now said, didn't I tell you to finish your work before eating? And the next thing, hot water, and he peeled and gave her a 3rd-degree burn. It's so sad to see that, and we call ourselves parents, we call ourselves mothers. Surely it's more common with mothers. You know, that affection is dead, that affection is not there. You have your own children. You treat another person's children as if they are not human beings. And so I want to solicit that all parents out there, if you know you cannot take care of somebody's child, please leave that child. Don't bring them to the city. Leave that child where the child is.
We're rounding up this adult conversation segment on the show. The children are already here. So as we round up this segment, Garba, I want your final take as we celebrate the Nigerian child this morning.
Well, my final take will be that let the educational minister implement the beautiful policies he has or they have on ground to see that the Nigerian children in the school enjoy the benefit of education in the country, so that they will not have negative impact or effect to the nations again. We should build a leaders of tomorrow, not a leaders of today. Thank you so much.
Yes, Tayo, in 1 minute. Your final take.
Okay, we are
celebrating Nigerian.
Thank God for the government who released funds to help the children go back to school. So we need more of such kind of inventions so that more children can also have access to those funds and go back to school.
Yes, I want to appreciate my guests this morning. The show is still on. We're not done yet. I did promise that we have children that will come in to let us understand the tide of celebration, and of course take a look at the situation from their eyes. The two sisters, they're here today, but I want to thank my guests, Garba Abdullahi, a social and justice youth activist, and of course Tayo Lani, who's a social affairs analyst. I appreciate you for coming on the show.
So much.
The celebration will continue after the show. So stick back and don't go away. All right, we'll take a short break to bring in the children. And remember, you can call in and be part of the conversation when we return. Stay with us.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why at Casting Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Captain TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At Captain Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Captain TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why at Casting Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Captain TV, broadcasting is not just about information.
Yes, welcome back. You know, when it has to do with children, you need to know the drama that has gone on before we came right here on set. Yes, indeed. I'm glad to let you know that we have children in the house this morning, just like I promised. They're looking so beautiful as we celebrate the Nigerian child today. We cannot do that without having children talk the way they feel. And I want to welcome my guests, two lovely girls, their sisters actually. Let me start from my far left this morning, Faithful Chidinma John. She is a 10-year-old social entrepreneur, convener of Think It Created, an initiative she uses to create a unique opportunity and network for young people ages 9 to 19 to showcase and exhibit their business ideas. Now, it's not all bad. This is a Nigerian child, and I give her flowers. It's so nice to have you, Faithful, right here on the press.
Thank you very much.
All right, our sister is sitting right beside her. These are not lean children at all. Gracious Chinenye John, she is a 9-year-old author and the director of Dream to Reality, as well as the sister Faithful John. She uses her talent with writing and media to turn our dreams and the dreams of others into reality. I feel so intimidated having such great children with such great resume. Beyond the intimidation is the joy to know that you're Nigerians. Now, let us start. We said we're going to start by singing a song, creating that hope that you sell to the Nigerian child. And you said, please, can we have that song? I know I can.
I know I can
be what I want to be.
Be what I want to be. If I work hard at it.
If I work hard at it.
I'll be what I want to be.
I'll be what I want to be. I know I can.
I know I can be what I want to be.
Be what I want to be.
If I work hard at it.
If I work hard at it.
I'll be what I want to be.
I'll be what I want to be. Well, you guys are walking the talk by being entrepreneurs and authors at your tender age of 10 and 11. Now, Faith, we're celebrating the Children's Day today. We're celebrating Nigerian children. I just want to let you help us understand what this day means to you as a child, as a Nigerian child, and one who has celebrated 10 Children's Day. Let us understand from your own perspective.
Well, what I understand and like about this Children's Day is that I'm started at a young age, and I'm letting people know that they are not too young to start a business. And I'm using this opportunity, which is this Children's Day, where children are free to go out to do an exhibition so that they can know and showcase their artworks. It's more like opening a network or market where people can, where the young children can buy and sell their things to people. I want to create an awareness that they are not too small to start a business.
That's interesting. Gracious, what about you? What does Children's Day mean to you?
Okay, so what Children's Day means to me is like my company is dream to reality. So what Children's Day means to me is that I want children to when they dream about something, or they
just look into your camera and talk to the children. That's your camera there.
Or they have dreams or talents to showcase. I want them to make it real, and with my own company, I'll allow them to showcase. I'll allow them to showcase what they can do with my exhibition, and I also want them to know that they are not too young. It's better to start a business young than when you now grow older. You don't really have so much time.
Yes, talking about time, it's interesting to know that we have children who have the vision to pursue their dream at such a tender age. Like I said, I was a little bit intimidated. It's just like saying the least that I can say. But this outlook, your outlook on life, is not something that is too common. Probably it happens, but we don't have more people tell their stories about young children who aspire to become something and actually pursue it. But of course, I know you can't do it without the support of your parents. As we celebrate a Nigerian child today, Faith, let them understand that they can actually be whatever they want to be if they put their mind to it, using yourself as an example. Please.
Okay. Using myself as an example, when I say I know I can be what I want to be, meaning you can think out of the box. That's why my company's name, Think It, Create It. You can think out of the box, look for your passion, look for what you really like to do, and try to turn it into a business. Whether it's starting from a small part, you'll still know you'll grow in it. Just like me, I started it from my first exhibition, which was last year, May, still on Children's Day. I exhibited my own things. I didn't want to be selfish. I allowed other children this year to express their own talent, and that's coming up this May 31st.
Indeed. Let us take a call. Let us take a call as we continue on the show. Hello, Mazi. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister. Happy Children's Day. All of us, everybody gets to you. Don't get the other by part or relation.
Yes. So what do you have for us today? Go ahead.
Well, for the students, before I go to this, I was reading one of the editorials about talking about Children's Day. At the end of the day, the editorial just boiled down to a summary that what report that based on this, that our children, instead of them to be in school, many of them will be to farm, 90% mining. At all this, because the whole country. Now you ask yourself, a child who is supposed to be in the school and is going to mine at what age? And people don't know that mining is not something that you don't wake up one morning and start going to the one, the hazardous nature of all these minerals is very, very real. If we don't start now, the years to come, it boils down to cancer that people, that is why when the people talk about cancer, they don't know how this thing started. So I'm not advising parents. Allow your children to go to school. And local government authority, they have a lot to do. You have councillors for education, poverty this, poverty that, basic education. Allow these children to get that basic and councillors. International runners, resources, and find solutions to. Otherwise, we are breeding a lot of vices, which a country like ours cannot carry, cannot contain.
Thank you so much, Mazi, for calling in on the show. Yes, we're discussing the Children's Day celebration. You know, when we started with the adults, we're looking at challenges that the Nigerian child faces, but now we have children in the house who are using themselves as an example amidst the challenges, those who have pursued their dreams, and they've come here today to give the Nigerian child the hope that it can be better. Now, you're telling us about your exhibition. We have a young author right here in the house with us, and Gracious is an author. So Gracious, you're 9 years old and you're an author already. Tell us about how that started for you. How did you, a 9-year-old girl, suddenly became an author of a book? Go ahead and tell us.
So how I started being an author is I had so much imagination, like whatever I see gives me imagination. Like when my brother plays, I now think of something to add, because that's a very good imagination for me. So how we started doing like being an author is that I like to write. I love to write, and when I read books, they give me my own imagination of what I'm going to write in the future. So I started writing books. I kept them, but my mom started pushing me to start writing them, and that's how I started writing books.
So eventually you published your books.
Yes.
And you're selling them and you're making money at 9 years old.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I can even tell you the title of the books I've written.
Okay, tell me some of them.
Some of them were Tales by Gracious, and The Battle of Courage, The Farmer, The Wonder Farmer, and Always Be Strong and Never Be Weak.
Always be strong and never be weak. Okay, we have a call. You can see hello. I was just staring at her mouth as she was talking. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, they're still arguing in the house. Now, let me understand young Faith, who is also an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur. A lot of mothers, like what your sister just said now, she had this encouragement from your mom. Your mom saw the talent in her and helped her and nurse it. You know, bring the books, let me help publish. And before you knew what was happening, 2 business, young, beautiful ladies in the house. What do you have to say to parents about encouraging your children to pursue their dreams?
So what I like to say to parents is that they should not bring their children down. They shouldn't have the mindset that they're not capable of starting a business. They should not wait till they finish university and start having a job. Let them create their own jobs and grow in it. Let their parents encourage them and help them to, if they are authors, publish their books. If they are artists, create paintings. And if they are dancers, create a platform or a studio where they can do their dance shows. Just like all these billionaires that are dancers, they are making money. Do you think they started from a very old age and they have come this far? Let's our parents encourage them and they will grow.
Okay, we have a call. Hello. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Emmanuel from Yobe State.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
First, I really thank God for the children I'm seeing in school. I'm happy to them, what they talk, what I'm hearing from them. I pray that God will always give them the guidelines and protect them. They'll grow and help their family in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Mama.
What I want to contribute to them is that don't forget whatever you are doing. I'm encouraging you to put yourself in the hand of the Lord. The Lord will continue to motivate you, continue to protect you. Anything you want to do in this life, whatever I want you to do, first of all, see the God thing first. And God Almighty will continue to see you through. What I'm saying for you, you get a bright future. But only thing, don't leave God alone. Don't leave alone. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Manuel from Yobe. You can see the prayers pouring in. I'm sure that he's as appreciative of the efforts your parents have put into your life to ensuring that you pursue your dreams and be here fulfilled to talk about it. Yes, we're talking about why it is important for parents to encourage their children to be what they want to be. Your faith has already told us our own. I would want you to add your voice to that. The encouragement you got from your mom, Muslim moms, helped you become an author. Can you advise a mother out there concerning a child who has a talent and, they always suppress it? What should parents do to encourage children to become what they want to be in life?
Okay, so what I think parents should do to encourage their children to what they want to be in life is normally children express what they want to be in life.
They express it.
Yes.
To their parents.
Yes.
Okay.
And when their parents see it, the parents shouldn't really think that, oh, they are too young, it's too early, maybe you can start when you finish your university. No, instead, parents should at least try and be building up their businesses small, so that when they grow older, they will be billionaires, millionaires, and they will have a better business. Like, have a better business than, like when they will be growing and then they are looking for what to do. But parents should encourage their children to start their business, or even though they are still small, the parents can still manage their businesses for them.
Okay, that's interesting. We have another call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Okay, we lost that call. So yes, if you just joined us, you're watching the special edition on the press as we celebrate the Nigerian child. We had adults come from the fourth stage to talk about the challenges children face, but we have children here who are giving us hope. They're talking hope, they're talking vision, they're talking being billionaires, they're talking about the future. They have a plan and they're selling that idea this morning to the Nigerian child. Now, let's talk about some challenges that children face, in your opinion, growing up. Challenges that children face in actualizing your dreams. Challenges they face from parents, like what Gracious just said. Children actually say what they want to do. There are parents who actually help their children achieve their dreams. There are some who wouldn't listen. So let us understand from your own perspective. You have friends in school. What are some of the challenges that children face that you talk about?
Well, some of the challenges some children face is mostly fear. They are scared to tell their parents how they want to start their business, because maybe they might think their parents might not listen and may tell them that they start when they're in university. And some challenges some children face is that they always think about how they're going to get money, how they're going to get their business started. But what I will advise them is that they should leave the rest to God, and God will provide. That they should just start and hand everything into God's hands.
That is deep. That is really strong advice. So what about you, Gracious? The challenges that, in your opinion, you discuss with your friends in school, the challenges that children face, especially in Nigeria. You live in Nigeria. There are certain challenges that children face while growing up, and of course, some of it actualizing your dreams. What do you think are these challenges, and what advice do you have?
Okay, Like what she said that they have fear. What she said that they have fear. Most children, their challenges might be that maybe they are scared of going upstage, like presenting what they have.
The talent, going upstage to present their talent. Okay.
And one last thing that they might have, that maybe people mock them that they can't do this, they can't do that, and then they feel so inside and keep it so personal, not only to anybody, and feel that they don't have any talent at all.
So what should they do? What advice do you have for children who have such fears?
The advice I have for children who have such fears is that they shouldn't listen to what people say, but they should listen to what their heart says. Like, to listen to what their heart says. It's okay if people mock you, but you still know what you are pursuing. You still know what you want to become in the future. Thank you.
So they shouldn't mind what people say. They shouldn't keep their talent inside of them. They should be vocal about it, be fearless in letting the world know and see what they are born, their innate ability, and they shouldn't be scared to go upstage to show the world what they have to say. Now let me give you a quote, as we begin to round up, from Nelson Mandela. You know Nelson Mandela? Yes. Nelson Mandela says in one of his quotes that there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. As we begin to round up on our discussion, do you think Nigeria as a nation gives opportunity to its children, to its youth?
Well, I might say Nigeria in specific might not, depending on how it is, but if their parents are bold and courageous enough to tell the world that they can do it, just like other heroes that we know are striving and they are known up till now, even if they are dead. They must have gone through a lot, depending on where they are, but they are still heroes. So what I'm trying to say is that no matter how the country Nigeria is, you can create a world of your own and people will recognize you.
You can create a world of your own and people will recognize you. All right, I'm learning a lot today from these children. So Gracious, what about you? Do you think that Nigeria as a nation, as a country, creates opportunities for its children and of course the youth? Do you think there are opportunities that government, the society creates opportunity for the Nigerian child and of course within that demographic, the Nigerian youth?
Okay. I don't really think that Nigeria really gives opportunities unless we Nigerians who live in Nigerians step up and decide to make Nigeria a better place for young children and youths to grow up and show their talents. Because young children normally just have the fear because they feel maybe they feel like maybe it is go wrong or maybe something will happen and it will just be a disaster and they are so embarrassed. But if we Nigerians step up and say and show that we actually have talents and we are not lonely like others, that Nigeria would definitely become a better place and children would begin to show their talents, like talents that you never believe that they actually had it. They begin to showcase it.
Interesting. So hearing these children talk about life as children, in fact some of the words that I hear this morning from these children are way beyond them. They are way beyond them. I'm just happy that we have this in our country, and I know definitely we have 1 million and more of such children in our society, but it's just the opportunity for their voices to be heard. They have given advice that parents should step up and listen to their children, tell them what they want to do. I'm one person, I create the room. I never stop a child for from doing what he or she wants to do, no matter how lean that idea is. I give all the encouragement, and that is why we have these children here, who we have young entrepreneurs, we have authors at 10 and 11, and it is interesting as we talk about the Nigerian child today. Now, Gracious, let me start with you. What advice do you have for the Nigerian child as we celebrate the Nigerian child today? You've told us you're an author. You've talked about fear being one of the barriers that ties and holds the Nigerian child back. You've told us that the fear of not knowing that they have this innate talent, even when they know it, they are scared to come and let the world see the talent. What advice do you have for one who is an author at age 9? If the Nigerian child who is watching you now pursue that vision and that dream, what advice, where do you see it taking the Nigerian child to, and what advice would you give to that child to wake up and run with that vision?
So the advice I'll give to that Nigerian child is, do not be scared to what you want to do. Have courage, because you still know that that's what you want to do. That's not what another person is dreaming for you to do. So what the advice I have for them is, do not be scared, have faith and be strong, because you're still going to be a billionaire, you're going to be a great person in the future, and people remember you for that.
Faith, as we round up, we're out of time. What advice do you have?
So what advice I have is that they should not wait for their parents to push them. If they have the vision and they know they are clear about the vision, they should start by showing their parents that they are capable of doing it. Then their parents might see and then open a business for them. They should not wait till people tell them, till people find out. They should show them their talents for themselves.
Oh, interesting. I appreciate you. I have goosebumps just listening to you. I appreciate your parents. I appreciate your mother who brought you this morning. I appreciate you. I see you both going far, and I'm happy that you are a product. You are Nigerians, and it is great indeed. This is how much time will take. We've been speaking with Faithful Chidinma John and of course Gracious Chinenye John. Faithful is a social entrepreneur, and she's 10 years old, and Gracious is 9, and she's already an author. I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you very much.
That is all time will allow us on today's special on Children's Day, the press edition. I appreciate those who called in. I appreciate my first guest, and of course as children, I appreciate you. And for the rest of you, enjoy the rest of the day. I am Anire Beniti.
Thank you very much.